welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the friend zone, but I'm changing that name because that name was actually to support my old friend who is stuck in that zone for a long time. But actually, that has now become a trigger for me. So F the zone. The zone is out. We might be calling it chaff. Cold hard AF truth. Because that's how it goes. So I'm feeling fucking festive, all of you. Having a little champagne, actually a little wine, you know. That's how we do on a Monday night of the holidays. Alexa, cut the beats.
Sorry.
Alexa, stop. We're going to turn her off. We're going to have some real talk. We're going to have a recap for the year. I'm normally the mindset mentor and motivator, bringing you all the tea, all the fun, all the love, all the positivity, all the hype. I'm still your girl. However, sometimes we need some real talk, and I'm all about keeping it real. So whoever's tuned in, whoever's watching it back, you're in for a treat. If you don't like profanity, well, disclaimer, click off the channel now, because you're going to be in for a real surprise today. Anyway, let's take a look at the year recap, everybody. What have we learned? Let's start with number one. As you know, I've gone on so many different topics on my YouTube, but I think something so important to talk about is number one, expectations. Word of the year. Now, what do I mean by expectations? Never expect anything, because the second you expect, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, disaster, and depression. You can expect nothing from anybody but yourself. The only one you can ever be accountable to is, you got it, yourself. If you ever expect anything from another human being, another situation or circumstance, you've already set yourself up for disappointment and failure. And that is something I can firsthand attest to. And I want to make it very clear that expectations are the first ship into demise. Think of the Titanic. They expected it would be an unsinkable ship, and well, mother she wrote. Anyway, we won't go into that conspiracy on this channel. But honestly, expect nothing from anybody, and you'll never be let down. Expect only the unexpected, because we can only have unexpected things come to us. So that is number one in the recap cycle. People will always let you down. People will always disappoint you, especially if you give them a standard of operation. Just because you're operating up here does not mean anybody else is operating on that same level. And I caution you, hold nobody to the same expectation as you, because you'll be let down every single time. It's human nature. I'll let you down, they'll let you down, she'll let you down, he'll let you down. Men will probably let you down. Okay, should we drink to that? Let's drink to that. I'm actually sober. Women will let you down too. Don't worry, I'm not going on a man bashing journey. They do that for themselves, right, ladies? Yeah, so number two, aside from expectations, let's talk about masculine and feminine energy. Forcing versus being. Masculine energy is the doing, the action, the fixing, the get things done energy. Both sexes have it. We have masculine and feminine energy inside of all of us. Men have it, women have it. And that's getting stuff done, task-oriented, business, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you know you need to be in your masculine energy at times. Feminine energy is about receiving, being, feeling, being in your body, slowing things down, being in the moment, feeling from your heart, understanding the circumstance. It's the receiving, loving, nurturing energy. It does not mean you're a pushover. It does not mean you're a doormat. It does not mean you don't have boundaries, which will be number three. But no, it means you're in your receiving, present in the moment energy. You're connected to the world around you. You're not thinking ahead, because what happens when we think ahead, we get anxiety. When we think and stuck in the past, we get depression. Always be present in the moment. Number three, segue into boundaries. That's what we learned this year. Boundaries are of the utmost importance. If you can't hold yourself at a high regard and have boundaries for yourself and be consistent with yourself and self-loving, people will never respect your boundaries. And if you allow someone to habitually line step those boundaries and get away with bad behavior or aberrant behavior, if we want to go into psychological terminology, they're going to keep doing it because you are reinforcing it. I've been guilty of it myself, giving people far too many chances. Now it's hit the road, Jack. Take a look at the dust behind you, because that's all you getting is my grits. Do not ever let anybody take you for granted or overstep your boundaries. If you're putting a boundary in place, it's for a reason. You give them one warning, but you have to tell them what you want. Let me give you an example. Ladies, if you don't want a man to take you for granted in the bedroom, then you don't give away the cow if they ain't buying the milk. Yeah, I fucked that up before, trust me. So I'm just saying, hold yourself to those boundaries and those standards and express them. And if they violate them once, you explain your boundaries if you're giving. I know some ladies are not that forgiving. Explain your boundaries in a polite... Oh, hell no, when I'm recording. Hold up. Explain your boundaries in a very polite, feminine way, of course. You want to be communicative. You don't want to be accosting or a jerk or an asshole or anything like that. Just, I'm one of those old-fashioned type of women that really likes to wait until there's a real connection and commitment before I give myself to a man. And that's something that means a lot to me. And if he can't and he steps that line again, bye, boy, bye. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. And don't you let him back in. Because the second you do, you are telling him you don't value yourself. You're telling him it's okay to take you for granted and treat you like that. And it's okay for him to get away with that behavior because you just reinforced it by allowing it. And that is on you now. That is not on him. So boundaries is number 3. Number 4. Going with the flow versus forcing. If you have to force things to happen, they are not meant to happen. I will share a very personal story about when my father passed away many years ago. Don't feel bad. Don't cry for me. Yeah, so forcing things. If you have to force a friendship, if you have to force a relationship, beg and plead and give ultimatums and push and try and always be the aggressor and the progressor and putting things forward, it's not meant to be. I have learned that over and over and over again and over and over and over. And guess what? That test gets handed out to me 100,000 times because I am a magnet for wounded people. I attract them all the time. These little tiny baby birdies that I want to put into my nest and coddle, but we can't. We can't do that because we're not the Avengers. We're not the Avengers. I've been told that. Enough of that baby voice. Anyway, if you have to try and force something, it's no longer meant to happen. Stop pushing for things. If it doesn't feel right in your heart and you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Don't allow people to guilt you. Don't allow people to pressure you. Make up your own mind because you are your own person. Guilt is a useless emotion. And Mike, if you're listening, I know you're clapping from hell because, well, you're the Antichrist. Love you, but just saying. I believe in God. I'm very Christian. And tonight's probably not going to reflect that very much with my potty mouth, but Anyway, so... Shame and guilt are useless emotions. Nobody can make you feel them unless you allow them, and they're manipulation tactics to take control over you and get you to do what they want you to do. So if you're falling victim to somebody guilting you, that is one of their manipulation tactics. Be aware of it. We'll talk more about manipulation next as number 5. But no, forcing things means it's not meant to be. If you're going to keep trying to force and kick open a door that's locked and closed, you're not meant to go through that door. Dollars to donuts, you walk next door and the open one's right there waiting for you. I bet the latch on the gate is already open waiting for you to walk in. Now, I learned this many moons ago in life. If it flows, then go with it. If it feels good, do it. If you feel obligated or bullied or guilted into it, it's not right. Move forward, not backwards. The rear view mirror is small for a reason because you ain't ever supposed to look back. The windshield in front of you is massive. You move forward, you move on, you move with what feels good. You don't go back to toxic friendships. You don't go back to toxic relationships. You don't go back to toxic careers. And I know one of you, this is going to hit near and dear too about going back to toxic careers. You don't do it. That door is closed. It's closed for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There's a season for everything. Everything is a lesson and a blessing. It comes into your life to teach you something, or maybe you had to teach somebody else something. But there's a reason the door closed. And if you go back in, it will never be the same, and you'll go back into disappointment and more heartache down the road, and you'll just keep yourself perpetually in that cycle, which is actually going to hurt you more in the long run. So if you want to keep doing that, all the power to you, but I'm not going to stand by to say I freaking told you so. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, I'm right. And if I had a nickel for every time people came back to me and said, oh, Brienne, you were right. I should have listened to you. I'd be more wealthy than Bill Gates, and I would put an end to this pandemic, and I would save the whole entire world because I'd be rich. Like, share, comment, subscribe for more. Share with a friend, and let's make this channel go viral, won't you? Hit that little ding bell. Stay to the end. I swear there'll be more positive stuff, but I'm just going real talk here with you. Where was I? Forcing. So I'll tell you a story of forcing. So when my father was passing away, I knew he wanted nothing more than this jersey, okay? All he wanted was this Andrew Ladd jersey. It was his favorite player. I love Blake Wheeler, but you know. And I wanted nothing more than to buy my dad a Harley and to get him his jersey. And he wanted nothing more than to get me my Jets plates and get me, we'll get into that later. Get me my Jets plates. So I went around after my thesis, crazy times a year. I went around trying to find him this jersey. I went to all the stores. I had a way to get it autographed by Andrew Ladd himself. And I went to a bunch of stores. They were sold out in all of his sizes. Every single store I went to, I tried to order it online. I tried to order it from out of province to see if they had it, even though it wasn't Winnipeg. And I did everything in my power to try and push and force and push and force. And guess what? It never happened. And I was devastated. I was angry. I was hurt. I was crying. But guess what? I wasn't supposed to walk through that door. Because guess what? When we went to his celebration of life at his work and hundreds of people showed up, one of his best friends walked up to me and was like, "Hey, Brienne." And I was obviously, in an emotional glass case. And he's like, "I have something for you to give to your father." He had the jersey picked out and signed by not just one player, but multiple, all ready to go for my dad. It was already purchased and already in force. I wasn't supposed to force it. It was already happening. When you push things away. When you try and make things happen, they're not supposed to happen. You'll actually make them worse. And while you're sitting there trying to force other things to happen, or you're stuck in the past, or you're fixated on one thing, you're actually blocking yourself from the future things that are coming your way, or could be coming your way, or could be enhancing your life because you're too stuck pushing your life backwards. Am I right or am I right? Oh, wait. I think I'm right, so let's drink to that again. Anyone that wants to violate restrictions and lockdowns with me, hit me up. You know my phone number. Got some wine for you too. Much love. All right, so I think we're moving on to number 5. I believe it's number 5. Did I say that? I know we were talking about boundaries, forcing things. Oh. What were we going into next? Brain fart here, y'all. But that's okay. I have a lot of tangents to go on. Were we going to go into ultimatums, or were we going to go into fantasies and lying and flaky people? Let's just go into consistency. If we can't be consistent with ourselves, we are never going to attract things consistent in our life. Incongruencies and inconsistencies will always lead us backwards and not forward. If we're breaking a promise to ourselves, we're breaking a promise to the world around us. If we can't keep a promise to ourselves, how can we keep a promise to anyone else? If we can't love who we are, how can we love anybody else? If we can't be honest with our own feelings and emotions and our own lifelong dreams and goals, how can we be honest with any other people? We're going to keep people around that keep us at the temperature we're at. The temperature we're at, we are never going to rise. If we want to sit there quacking with the ducks, we're never going to fly with the eagles. It's just the way it goes. If you want to lie on the floor with the dogs, then you're going to catch fleas. You're not going to thwart yourself forward. So, what's my lesson of the year? Let go of the trash. If the trash wants to take itself out, then let it get on its merry little legs and walk itself out the door. Hit the road, Jack. Bye, Felicia. Catch you outside. How about that? I don't need that, Jack. Get to step in. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Take your little to-go bag with your balls and go write a Kenny Chesney song about it because it's done and over. Over and done. Over and done. Yeah. Pardon my little outburst. I'd put my robot on, but YouTube will probably ban me for that. Oopsie doopsie. Yeah. So consistency. Be consistent and honest with yourself. Know what you want and stick with it. Keep going, because when you break a promise to yourself, you'll keep breaking promises to other people, and you'll always be, well, let's call this number 6 now. Averages, the law of average. How about Murphy's Law? What can happen will happen. manifesting. Oh, there's so many topics for the year that we have to cover and go over. And so Murphy's Law, what can happen will happen. Well, let's just say you will always be the arithmetic mean of the 5 people you hang around most. If I had a nickel for how many people I had to cut out of my life this year, and tell you what, it was not easy. I spent many weeks in bed bawling my face off like a 10-year-old child because I felt sad and bad for having to cut people out. But guess what? Every time I finally did it and I finally made the cut, my life got better and better and better and yes, like my high pitch. My high pitch on fleek, okay? So don't be hating what you ain't dating. And don't fall for me because obviously you can't put enough effort to catch this fish. I'm just kidding. A little bit vicious today. A little bit vicious. But no, what I'm getting at is if you surround yourself with puppies and you're going pee with the puppies, don't crap in the big dog's yard. You're never going to elevate if you keep yourself stuck with people who keep you down, who don't see your vision, who don't thwart you up. If people can leave you in a down period and can't understand you and don't have compassion for you, let those people go. People are to stand by you in the hardest times. If they meet you in the hardest times, stick around with you in the hardest times, they're there to walk beside you, not to guide you and to pull you and to be your therapist, but they're there to walk beside you. I always say, I don't want anyone to save me. I want someone to walk with me while I save myself. Partners, ironclad. If you have people that are pulling you back and aren't pulling you forward and are manipulating you and are toxic to your life and can leave you in hard times and can't understand you and grant you compassion, even when your emotions are all out of whack, let them go. They're not meant to be here. They serve their season. It is done. And that's a hard pill to swallow and a hard lesson to learn. And believe you me, I've had to do it myself. There's people I did not want to let go of. There's people I still don't want to let go of, and I had to. There's past relationships I didn't want to walk away from. And guess what? They were just my safety net. They were just a safety net because I felt safe in that space, because it was familiar, because we knew each other, we were there for each other. But guess what the truth was? We didn't actually love each other. We didn't want to be together. We were just each other's safety net, a safe space, familiarity, a warm hug, and a time of despair. But guess what? Sometimes you're just better as friends. And when I finally walked away and finally let go, that's when I realized it. We didn't love each other. We didn't care. It was just that neither of us wanted to be alone. We got used to the routine. We got used to the habit. We didn't want to see the other one with somebody else. And that's all that it was. It was selfish and self-serving. But when I finally cut the cord, freedom awaited and my life elevated. It's the same as friendships. And guess what? Some of those friendships circled back around because they decided to go and work on themselves. And you know what? I still take caution. You can care about people, but you don't have to invite them back to your dinner table to sit down with you, because once that bridge is done, once that is over, it's done. Don't repeat history, because history repeats itself. And you'll be stuck in the same Groundhog Day cycle over and over and over again, and you'll only be hurting yourself and keeping yourself an emotional hostage to the past. And you can't be in the present or be in the future or elevate your life if you're a prisoner of the past. Mark my words, been there, done that, seen it, bop it, twist it, pull it, discard it. Oh, what are we going into next? Lesson of the year. Goodness, I feel like I mentioned so many topics that maybe I'll leave it there for now. Empowering. Let's just leave it on a positive. How to empower yourself. Affirmations. Enhance your life. Affirmations truly do work. The things that come out of your mouth over and over and over again, you're going to see come into your life more and more and more and more. If you keep saying, and I'm guilty, I've done it. If you keep saying, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. Guess what? You're going to be sad. If you keep saying, I can't, I can't, I can't. Well, then you can't. I don't want. Well, then you're not going to get. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. It's in the Bible. Take a look. Check it out. Make a list. Check it twice. Y'all naughty. I ain't nice. Just kidding. But yeah, you definitely want to be careful what comes out of your mouth and what comes into your life. What you believe in your mind, you'll see manifest in your life. And sometimes, I mean, that's not true. I've believed good things and then they go awry, but we also don't control other people and other circumstances. So sometimes it gets away from us, it gets the better of us. But what I can tell you is when you set a daily intention and you go out there with that intention, you meditate, you do your affirmations, you come from a place of gratitude, it works. I always set my daily intention. Often it's to be giving and receiving of love. And you go out there when you're feeling like crap, be a blessing to someone else, and always be true to who you are. Affirmations, just even if you don't feel it, don't believe it, just keep saying it. One of my big ones is money comes easy, frequently, and abundantly to me. And guess what? It works. It works. It might not be in huge dollar amounts, but it happens and it works. So what you want to see come into fruition in your life, just keep manifesting that. I recommend Joe Dispenza. I've loved him for years. I recommend Outwitting the Devil, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, and Rejection Proof, Crucial Conversations, Daring Greatly, Good Leaders Eat Last. Oh my goodness. Those are probably the top books I'm recommending right now. And The War of Art. That's also a good one. So read. The mental gym is just as important as the physical gym. Keep in your life what promotes you forward. Discard the rest. Don't feel guilty or prisoner to other people's BS. We're all still learning, and I hope you guys have a blessed new year. Don't repeat history. Go create history. Go create memories. Make a milestone. Go on the path untraveled by and put your footprints there and allow somebody else to follow your lead because you're worth it. You're awesome. You got this. I believe in you. And I'm not going to say I'm your friends because I ain't getting stuck in that bullshit zone. So I am your mentor and your YouTube creator. And I was supposed to have a couple of people come on and like tag team on channel with me and be my co-host, but they pussied out. But hopefully I will get one of my funny honeys to hop up on here sometime soon because they hilarious. And that's the cold hard tea. Keep golden, pony boys. Stay fucking classy, Winnipeg. Stay fucking classy. And happy fucking new year to all of you. Keep Jesus first. Get right with the Lord. Pray for people. Pray for yourself. And just always improve your life. Daj Boże, na zdrowia.